In this video, I'll show you how to use a really great Blender add-on for speeding up your baking workflow, the Quick Baker Blender Addon. And I can highly recommend this add-on for texture baking because it really speeds up the texture baking process and makes the entire workflow so much easier. So I did already make a video a little while back on how to use this add-on, but since making that video, the add-on has gotten many updates and improvements. So in this updated tutorial, I'll show you how to use the Quick Baker Blender add-on. And I will have some affiliate links in the description to where you can purchase the add-on on the Blender market as well as Gumroad. So if you purchase the add-on through my affiliate link, then I'll earn a small commission, and that's a great way to help support this channel. So in this video, I'll be using the Quick Baker Blender add-on to texture bake this object here, and we'll be baking the color, metallic, roughness, and normal maps. And then I'll also show you how to bake high poly detail onto a low poly mesh. And I'll have timestamps in the description if you'd like to check out each part. And this object here that I'm going to be baking is a setup which I created on how to texture paint metallic maps, and I've set it up so that you can paint on the metal, and where I'm painting there is damage on the metal and it looks like the yellow paint is being worn away from the metal. And if you'd like to learn how to create this texture painting setup, then I also have a tutorial on that, and I'll have the link in the description. And this is the material that we're going to be baking, so if I wanted to use this material in a game engine or another 3D software, then I would have to bake out the textures. And I've also included this blue cube here in the object, and so I'm using this as an example to show you how you can texture bake two different materials together. So after you download the add-on, we just need to install it into Blender. So let's click here on Edit, and we can open up the Preferences. And then click over on the Add-ons tab, and you can click on the Install button right up here. And then you can locate to the folder where you've downloaded the zip file of the add-on. So I've downloaded some other versions of the add-on in the past, but I'm going to be installing the latest version of the add-on, which is 1.6.1. So I'll click on that and then click on Install Add-on. And then if you don't see it, you can just search for Quick Baker and you can just check mark the Quick Baker add-on. And then make sure to click on the Save Preferences button right down there so that the add-on is always turned on in your future projects. Now before I close the user preferences, you can click on the arrow here to open up the Quick Baker, and there are a few different preferences. So there's some general preferences here like the cage color and the wireframe, and this is for when we're baking a high poly mesh to a low poly mesh, but I just leave these at the default. Then we also have some map options right here, and you can see here all of the different map options that you can bake with the add-on. And there also is a suffix here, so this is what each map is going to be named. So if for some reason you want to rename the map, you can, but I'm just going to leave these how they are. And then there's also a few other settings which in most cases you probably won't need to change, but there are samples here, so you can turn the samples up if the final bake looks a bit grainy. You can also use this denoise if you want to. And then there also are some bake settings here, and these are the baking default settings. So if you have some settings which you commonly use, then you can change this in the user preferences. So I usually like to bake to 4K maps, so right here on the size I could change this to 4K, and also if you want to bake to JPEG or PNG, you can change that here, but you don't have to change these settings because you can change it when you're actually baking the textures. And then we can close the user preferences. So to use the add-on, you can hit the N key, and the N key is going to open up the side panel here, and then you can click here on the Q Baker tab. So now we need to add a bake group, so I'll just click on this to add a new bake group. Now the name of the bake group is what the final textures will be called. So I'll just double click on this to rename it, and I'm just gonna rename this to Cube. Now if you're baking high poly detail to a low poly mesh, then you're gonna check the high to low, but I'll be doing that later in this video, but I won't be doing it right now. So I now need to add the objects that I want to bake. So I'm going to click here on the plus to add a new object, and then I can just click on the cube. That's the object in our scene. Now if you have multiple objects that you'd like to bake at once, but you want the texture maps to be separate for each object, then you can add multiple bake groups and set it up individually, and then when you hit the bake button, it'll bake out each object. However, if you have multiple objects but you want to bake both of the objects to the same texture maps, then you'll just use one bake group and you'll instead add both objects to this object section right here. And then right down here, you can select a UV map to use, and this object already just has one UV map, so it's already selected the UV map that I want to use. But if you happen to have multiple UV maps on your object, then you can choose them right here. Now, speaking of UV mapping, it is important that you UV unwrap the object before you actually texture bake it. So you can click right over here to go to the UV editing workspace, and you can see I've already UV unwrapped the object for the texture painting that I've done. But if your object isn't already UV unwrapped, you'll just need to make sure to UV unwrap the object. Now I won't be going over UV unwrapping in this video because that's a whole nother topic, but I do have a UV unwrapping for beginners tutorial, but just make sure that your object has a nice UV unwrap for the texture baking. So I'll click back over here on the shading workspace. Now right here we have the material groups, and you can see it's already automatically added in the materials that it's going to bake because this object has two different materials. So if your object just has one material, that's fine, or if it has multiple materials, you can add them here, but because I've already added in this cube object, it's automatically detected the materials on this object. You can, however, click on the plus here if you want to add a new material. And also one thing that I did want to mention, if you've texture painted an object like I have here, and you want to bake this to texture maps, then you do need to save the painted image before you actually do the texture baking. So to save this texture painted map, I'm going to click here on the texture painting, and then right over here, if I open up the image editor right here, just click here and make sure that you have the texture painted map selected, and then you can save this image by clicking on image and clicking on save as. And I'll just save this image as a PNG file with my other files, and I'll just click on save as. So we can now just go back to the shading workspace. So now here on the map section, we can choose all of the texture maps that we want the add-on to bake. And there are some presets right here. So if you click on the presets, there is Unity and Unreal. So if you want to, you can use those presets. I'm just going to manually add them here. So I'm going to click on add, and then I want to add the base color. I also want to click on add and add the metallic, because this is a metal material. I'll click on add. I'm also going to add a normal, and then also I'm going to add the roughness. So I'm adding those four maps because over here in the shader editor, you can see we have wires going up to the base color, metallic, roughness, and normal. And if you want the add-on to automatically detect the textures, you can actually just click on the exit here, and then you can instead just click on this reload button, and you can see it's detected the base color, metallic, roughness, and normal in the material. So you can now choose where you want the add-on to automatically save the textures. And that's something I really love about this add-on, is it automatically saves the texture maps to your computer. So right here, you can click on this plus icon to add a folder. And I'm just going to navigate to this folder with my other files, and I will just click on add folder. So it's now going to save the baked textures in this folder. And if you want to, you can checkmark the subfolder, and this will create another folder in this folder that you've selected, and it'll rename it to textures and put all the textures in that folder. I'm going to turn this off though, because I just want the textures to be in the baking folder. So you can now choose the different image options. So on the size here, I'll click on this, and I usually like to bake to 4K. So I'm going to choose the 4096 to bake to a 4K image, and I'll also use PNG, and you can also change the other settings here. So then before I hit the bake button, I'll just click on file and click on save, and then I can just click on bake, and the textures have finished baking. So I'll now open up my file browser to preview the textures. So in my file browser, I have the blend file, and I also have the map that I use for the painting, but you can see I now have the four maps. So I have the base color, and also the metallic, and the normal and the roughness. So it's baked out all the maps and automatically saved them all to my computer. So we can now just add them back into the material. So I'll just press the N key to close the side panel here, and then over here on the shader editor, just in case I want to go back to this procedural material, I'm going to click on the shield icon to give it a fake user. And also if I select this material here, the blue material, I'll just click on this here to add a fake user, and this way, just in case if I want to go back to that material, I can. So now if I open up the side panel here, you can see there's the different materials. I'm just going to click on the minus here to get rid of both of these materials, and then I can click on new to add a new material, and I can just call this baked textures. So then to automatically add in all the texture maps, I'm going to be using the feature of the Node Wrangler add-on, and to enable the add-on, you can just click on edit and go to the preferences, and then over there on the add-ons tab, just search for Node Wrangler, and you can enable the Node Wrangler add-on. So with the Node Wrangler enabled, I can select the principled shader, and I'll just press Ctrl-Shift-T. Then you can just locate to the folder with the textures, and I'll just click and drag to select the four textures, and I'll click on Principled Texture Setup. And so there we have it. So we now have one single material. Instead of these being two different materials, they're just one material, and the textures are baked. And I can use the other feature of the Node Wrangler to preview the maps by holding down the Control and Shift key and just selecting the different textures. And we have the base color, the metallic, and the roughness, and the normal. So as you can see, the Quick Baker add-on makes texture baking really quick and easy, and it really speeds up your workflow. And it's much easier than using the default baking tools in Blender. So I'm now going to show you how to use the add-on to bake high poly detail onto a low poly mesh. So for an example here, I'll press Shift A, I'll go here and add a monkey head, and then I can press Ctrl 2 to give it the monkey head a subsurf modifier, and then over here on the modifier properties, I will just apply the subsurf modifier, and then I can just shade the monkey head smooth. So I'll now press Shift D to duplicate to create another monkey head, and just hit the escape key to bring it back to where it is. And then I'll hit the H key to hide this monkey head. So then this monkey head here, this is going to be the high poly one, and we're going to be sculpting on this mesh, and then we will bake the details from the sculpt back onto the low poly mesh using a normal map. And let's also just rename these two monkey heads. So right here in the outliner, I'll click on this collection here, and this is the one that I just hid. So I'm going to double click on this to rename it, and I'll just rename this one to low poly. And then this one here, this is the one that's selected. I'll rename this one to high poly. So then on this object here, I'll click on add modifier. Let's add another subdivision surface, and this one I'll turn pretty high to like a 3, and then click on the drop down and apply that. So if I go now into sculpt mode, you can see this is very high poly for the sculpt. So I'll now just click here to go over to the sculpting workspace, and I can start to sculpt this. So I'm going to turn on the X symmetry here, and also to add more geometry as we sculpt, I will turn on the Dyn Topo, just click on OK, and then here on the Dyn Topo detail size, I'll turn this to like a 3 so it's even higher detail. So now I can just start to sculpt here, and usually I do sculpt with my drawing tablet because it's much easier to sculpt with a drawing tablet, but just for this example here, I'll be sculpting with my mouse. So I'm just going to sculpt some different details here, some surface details on Suzanne. I'll also hold down the control key to kind of sculpt in and just sculpt a few more details on Suzanne. Alright, so I've done some basic sculpting and I've sculpted some surface details on the Suzanne head. So I'll click to sculpt mode and go back to object mode. So I can now press Alt H and that is going to unhide the other object. And I now want to bake the detail of the high poly mesh to the low poly mesh, and we'll be baking a normal map to create fake bump. And also the sculpting object here, I'll just select it and then also shade it smooth with the object context menu. So I'll press the N key to open the side panel, and I can click here on the Quick Baker add-on. Now something that's really important is that these two objects are at the same exact location. So I didn't move these objects around, but if they are moved around, you can select them and you can press Alt R and Alt G and Alt S, and that will move them back to the default location. So if you hit the N key to open the side panel and go here to the Quick Baker tab, you can click on the plus here to add a new bake group. And I'm going to rename the bake group to monkey. And this is going to be the name of the normal map that we'll be baking. Now I want to bake the high poly sculpting detail to the low poly mesh as a normal map. So I'm going to click here on the high to low. So we now need to add a group here. So I'll just click on the plus here and that'll just create a new group. And we now have a high poly and a low poly. So let's click on the plus here, and then we can choose the high poly mesh. And then here in the low poly, we'll click on the plus here and we can choose the low poly mesh. Then you can choose the UV map of the low poly mesh, and it is very important that your low poly mesh has a good UV unwrap. So if I just select the low poly Suzanne head, I can go right over here to the UV editing layout, and you can see the Suzanne head on default is already UV unwrapped, so I don't need to UV unwrap it. But if your object needs to be UV unwrapped, you can select the entire mesh and you can hit the U button and you can unwrap it with these settings here. Now I'm not going to go over UV unwrapping in this video because that's a whole nother topic, but you can definitely check out my UV unwrapping for beginners tutorial to learn the basics of UV unwrapping. So I'll now just click back here on the layout. And I'll press the N key again to open the side panel and go back to the Quick Baker add-on. So now right here you have the cage option, and probably for most things you can just leave this how it is on the default, but if I click and drag here on the extrusion, you can see it's going to change the size of the cage. And I can also hold down the shift key as I drag this to make my movements a bit more sensitive. But one thing that you want to make sure of is that the cage is a little bit bigger than all of the objects. So if I turn this extrusion very small or even turn it to a value of 0, you can see that the sculpting detail is popping out through the cage, and so that could cause problems when it's baking the normal map. So just turn up the cage so that the cage is slightly bigger than all the objects. So I'm just going to make it about that big. And you can see the preview just goes away when I'm done clicking, and that's just because when I'm dragging this, it's showing a preview of the cage, but then I can let go and it just hides it. So just make sure that the cage is a little bit bigger than the objects. So now down here on the map settings, we can choose the maps that we want to bake. So I'm going to click here on add, and for this we just need to bake a normal map. So I'll bake a normal. Then you can scroll down here and you can choose the different bake settings. So right here you can click on this plus icon to choose where you want the add-on to save the texture. So I'm just going to navigate here to a folder on my computer where I want to save the files, and then I can click on add folder. So now it's going to save the baked texture to that folder. And if you have the subfolder checkmarked, then it's going to make a new folder in this folder here with all the textures, but I just want to save these textures in this folder, so I'll just turn off the subfolder. Then I can choose the size size setting, so I usually like to bake to 4K, so on the size here I will choose 4096. And then you can change any of these other settings if you want to, and then before you bake this, I'll just click on File and I'll save this again, and then I can click on the Bake button. And the baking has finished. So then over here on my file browser, I can just open up the image, and you can see here is the baked normal map. So it's taken all of that sculpting detail that we sculpted, and it's turned it into a normal map, so we can now put this on the low poly mesh. So I'll press the N key to close the side panel, and I'm going to click here on the Suzanne high poly, and I will just bring it over so that they're right next to each other. So I can now select this object here. This is the low poly mesh. Let's go to the shading workspace. So with the low poly object selected, I'll click on new here to add a new material, and then from my file browser I can just click and drag and drop in the normal map. And then right here in the color space, I want to set this to non-color because it is a normal map. And then let's plug the color here up to the normal. And then to convert it to normal data, we can press Shift A. We'll go here to the search, and we can search for the normal map node. And we want to put the normal map node in between these two nodes. So then to preview the normal map, I'll hold down the Z button and just move this down into the material preview so that I can see that. And just to see this a little bit better, if I take the base color here, I could just make this like a really dark color. So the detail of these two objects look exactly the same, but if I hit the tab key to go into edit mode of these objects, you can see this one is very high detail because it has all the sculpting geometry, but this one here looks exactly the same, but because it's using a normal map, it is much lower poly. So we now have the same amount of detail, but with a much lower poly mesh. So that's how you use the quick Baker Blender add-on. It's a really great add-on for speeding up your texture baking workflow and making texture baking so much easier. And I can highly recommend this add-on for anyone doing texture baking in Blender. So again, if you'd like to purchase the add-on, then I will have some affiliate links in the description to where you can purchase the add-on on the Blender market as well as Gumroad. And if you purchase through my affiliate link, then I will earn a small commission, and that's a great way to help support me and this channel. So I hope you found this helpful, and thanks for watching.